Good morning, second week of Ordinary Time, and we read the Gospel of John. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now standing there were 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. He said to them, "Now draw some out, and take it to the chief steward." So they took it. When the steward tasted the water that had become wine, and didn't know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the steward called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs, in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. In Jesus' time, a wedding celebration normally used to take 3 to 8 days long. They usually began on Wednesday and ended on Shabbat. The logistics were no small thing, and neither was the budget involved in the organization. Cana is very close to Nazareth, only 8 kilometers far away. Up to that time, Jesus hadn't performed any public miracle, perhaps in his own house, but we don't know. Mary noticed during the wedding that the wine, an important element of the feast, was running out, and I want to share with you a first reflection. To love like Mary means to realize the needs of others before they become a tragedy, helping them when there is still time, when the situation is not yet irreversible. Jesus responds in a disconcerting way to his mother, meaning, "What can I do about this if the time has not yet come for me to manifest myself publicly? I cannot, or I shouldn't, be solving the logistical problems of the whole world. Besides, if I work a miracle now, there's no turning back. Everyone will know about it and word will start to spread." Why then this moment to work his first miracle? Everything seems to indicate that Jesus hadn't planned to begin his public ministry at that moment, but in the end, because of his mother's action, he decides to do it. A celebration of human love, where everything is joy, will be the beginning of the work of the one who will later compare the kingdom of heaven to a banquet. Jesus came to bring joy to the world, as we have just celebrated at Christmas, and therefore decides to do his first miracle in a context of joy and happiness. Why in jars of purification? There were 6 stone jars for the purifications of the Jews, of about 100 liters each. They were jars for the ablutions, so that the guest, before entering the banquet, would be cleansed with the water and would be religiously purified and thus be able to join the banquet. Jesus chooses these jars perhaps as a sign of the true purification that he's going to bring to the world, to purify us internally, to purify our hearts. Why does he ask to fill them completely with water? Jesus doesn't create wine out of nothing, out of the blue, but changes water into wine. He asks them to fill the jars to the top, not halfway, but to the top. He could have turned the air inside the jars into wine, but he wants them to put water in. He asks for human collaboration. He didn't need them to be filled with water. However, he wanted the waiters to do everything they humanly could, to fill the jars to the top. And once that it was done, Jesus would add. This is a constant that we see in the miracles of Jesus. He does a miracle, but first he asks the man to put everything in his hands. To raise Lazarus, he asked to move the heavy stone, when he could include that in the miracle pack. He asks to be given the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, when he could have done it perfectly well with 4 and 1. He allows the Roman centurion to come to him and expose himself publicly. The same for Jairus, the leader of the synagogue. Jesus also allows some men to open a hole in the roof of the house in Capernaum to get the paralytic through it. For grace to act, human freedom must be at stake. It's difficult for God to act in us if we don't do our part. And why Jesus transforms so much water? It transforms 600 liters. Not only does he give them wine to get them out of the situation, but he gives them plenty of wine and of very high quality. This speaks of the overabundance of grace, of God's generosity. The wine is a double metaphor, that of love and that of joy. The love of God who loved us to the end, to the edge, to the limit, like the water in the jars that were filled to the top. And joy. Jesus came to bring us joy in abundance, as he will later say during the Last Supper. These things I have spoken to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Cana is a metaphor for any spiritual journey. First of all, first step, recognize our reality, the shortcomings, what I lack. They have no wine. Then, fill the purification jars to the edge, that is, to purify ourselves. And third, put ourselves into action with confidence at the hands of Jesus. Do whatever he tells you. If we do this, God will take care of the rest and bring our joy to its fullness. And God bless you.